Yeah, really.
Here we go, ready. Let's play this. Okay, yes, so there were some boisterous Birmingham City fans on there, but that policeman belted a bloke. Did you see it?
Yeah.
How do they get away with it?
It's uncalled for. Well, I work in security, and you have to be so careful in that type of industry working in that kind of service, because you need to have a squeaky clean criminal record and all that. You have to go through all the right training and procedures. And tell you now, any training I've done is not to lamp someone round the head. It's in an emergency situation where you have to like restrain someone if they're attacking you. You never ever attack anyone. And I mean, how that guy is still employed today, if he is well, at least a mystery to me.
The video may be taken down off YouTube, but it certainly won't be taken off my personal site.
No,
it's staying there. And we've also got I believe we've got a copy of it, have we?
We've got a copy now.
And we've got a copy of it, and we've just played it live out to the world.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you. That police officer should be found and dismissed.
Yeah.
End of.
And also criminal charges, because it's assault.
It's assault. He assaulted the bloke.
Well, if one police fan was to have punched a police, you could pretty much bet your house on it that he would have been nicked and charged and everything.
All right, Adam Wilkes says, can you say it's a punch? Even if it was a push, Adam, right, he shouldn't lay hands on the bloke.
No, he shouldn't.
That's not his job.
No.
That is not his job. His job was crowd control. There were enough dogs there to keep that line of people where they were, right, okay. And yes, they were boisterous, okay. But I don't think there was any call for that.
As I said, you only ever have to react, like, not so much in that way, but you only ever have to defend yourself if you feel like you are an immediate threat. He was not an immediate threat.
No, not at all. And he was an old man.
Yeah.
All right, and he went down on the floor and he stayed there for quite a while.
Yeah.
Hello, Brian Johnston. Welcome to the show. Stuff like that happens more than you think, from Harry Griffiths. Don't forget, Harry, I've worked in the nightclub industry for many, many years. Missed the start wear his smiler tonight. He's out on his jollies. He's out on a little jolly at them. It's on international duty.
People are saying what's happened. He seems to have changed his persona.
A bit more cheerful show tonight.
Collins says the horses after the game charging through was the worst thing. I wouldn't mind finding some videos of that, Jordan.
I've seen a video of that, yeah.
If anybody out there has got a video of it, please tag my name in it, all right? Because all this stuff's going to the Football Supporters Federation.
Good.
And I don't see any reason that we should, as individuals and human beings, put it back.
We're not criminals. No. We're fans that want to go and watch a game of football.
I said, that's why I said I saw the boats and everybody going down, having fun and having a good laugh. Mr. Fun.
This isn't the 80s anymore, but the police, from what you look at it, think it still is.
Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. Well, the police horses were running through children and women and
the likes. And it's like I've seen one post off, one comment off one lady on one of the pages, and she said that she's been completely put off going down to Millwall again, and it shouldn't be like that for
Now, I did ask
fans.
for permission to read this out, and I'm not sure whether I've actually got it yet, but it's from a lady from the Blues Supporters Trust,
right.
Margaret. I think everybody knows Margaret.
Yeah.
If you don't, pretend to you.
Yeah.
No, Margaret's a lovely lady, and she wrote this. I went to the game Millwall on Saturday and want to write about what happened off the pitch. Please note that I'm writing about what I saw. Birmingham City sold the full allocation of 2,083 away tickets for this game, and there were a lot of other Blues fans there. Some of them also may have seen more and had totally different experiences. Also, the police may have treated me differently to some other fans. I suspect that when the police look at me, they don't assume I'm a football hooligan who might cause trouble. They more likely think I'm a harmless old lady who might need help. I went to the Den early and I didn't see any trouble before the game. There was a massive police presence at London Bridge railway station and a line of police dog handlers keeping a tight hold of their barking dogs. It all seemed over the top as we walked past them to get onto the train to South Bermondsey. The railway police were putting Millwall fans in the coaches at the back and the Blues fans and other commuters at the front. Apart from the police dogs, everything seemed pretty relaxed. The line of policemen waiting for us at South Bermondsey also seemed relaxed and friendly, and when I checked with one of them to make sure I went the correct way, they have two walkways from the station to the stadium, one for home fans and one for away fans. After the game, the stadium announcer informed us that the away fans would be held back and advised us to remain in the concourse, which I did. I heard some shouting from the fans outside, but nothing that sounded like a riot. Then I saw a group of riot police dash past, followed by some mounted police. When we were allowed to leave the stadium to walk up to the railway station, several Blues fans stroked the horses as they went past, and their riders didn't seem to try to stop this. I didn't feel as though the police thought we were a dangerous mob. Several Blues fans, including me, stopped to talk to the police, and one policeman told me he was sorry that they had come at us like that, but they had to follow orders. I got on a train about 8:30 p.m. and at London Bridge we were greeted by a line of barking police dogs. I think it was crazy to start the game at 5:30 p.m. The extra times that fans had for drinking made the police very nervous, and in my opinion those in command overreacted. I'm sure that some fans were drunk and misbehaved, but I don't think the behaviour of the minority justified the display of the ferocious looking dogs. I think that provoked fans rather than calming them down, and it would have been better to keep the dogs in the cars unless or until needed. I hope everyone got home safely. If you feel you were unfairly treated by police, contact Amanda Jacks on 07703 519 555. Okay, or where's the last little bit? Yeah, Amanda Jacks on that number, or amanda.jacks@fsf.org.uk. She oversees the casework at Football Supporters Federation and has successfully challenged many examples of unfair treatment. The FSF monitor the police in their dealings with football fans and work with them to ensure that all fans are treated fairly and within the law. Click here to read about their campaign. Watching football is not
Which clearly they're not. If you look at the video evidence,
it's absolutely crystal
they're above the law, aren't they?
Right. Just a couple of things, Nick. We did say we were going to have Trevor Francis on the background this week, but obviously we've changed it.
Yes, because Grainger is coming in on the phone. So he should be with us around about 8 o'clock.
We'll have Trevor on next week, definitely. Stephen Carr said that was a joke. Had kids and adults like worried and scared. My lad has been plenty of games. I've never had to calm him down as I did on Saturday due to the overreaction of the horses and riot police. No communication, nothing happened, just overreaction from the old Bill. And
I saw somebody put a comment. I can't track back and find the name of. There's been so many on it. He said the police will cause another Hillsborough soon.
Yeah,
it's quite evident to see.
Yeah,
I'm guessing a 5:30 kick-off didn't help much.
Well, that's Sky for you, isn't it?
Well, Matt Wilkes says, why have a 5:30 against Millwall? Now Wolves on a Monday night. Sky runs football. Asking. Excuse me for trouble.
True, yeah.
Well, surely as well, if Sky Sports think it's fine to have Birmingham Millwall, where there's been a history of violence over the years, surely they should be footing the bill for the police and not the taxpayer as well.
Well, I think the clubs do have to contribute towards it, to be honest.
Do they? Right.
I think so.
Well, it shouldn't be down to the clubs. If Sky Sports choose to have the game on at 5:30 on the evening, they should be footing the bill. That's my opinion anyway.
Okay, don't forget, guys, all you've got to do is share this on your personal page to be in chance to win a prize tonight. We'll be drawing the prize for last week, which is a signed Tom Ross book. Somebody's going to win that tonight, and that'll be posted off to you a little bit later on, and somebody else will win a plethora of prizes next week, as modelled by a very slim version, Mr. Hubert here. There you go. Legend. Yes, okay, what I've seen there then disturbed me, and somebody else has put Shane Island. Shane, thanks for popping in, Shane. We're still waiting for you to pick the picture up, by the way.
Yes.
We need the money. We need the money.
Give us your money.
Not sure if this is of interest. I've written up my experience of the policing in London and the Den on Saturday. I will have a look at that when I get home, Shane. Obviously, I haven't got time to do it now. It's called Snarling Dogs and Charging Horses, How the Police Got It So Wrong at Millwall.
Sorry, the thing that I actually feel bad for, because I interact and deal with police daily, to be fair, and the people that are on the ground are just honest, decent people that are trying to make a living. They do have to just follow commands, and sometimes it's almost as if it's them that are doing it, but it's actually it's orders that are coming from above.
Yeah.
So it's the bosses that you need to really be blaming.
James Osborne. Yes, I did notice this. I was in the pub on Saturday, then all of a sudden it went quiet because there was some rather foul language emanating from around the terraces. Have you noticed Sky Sports now muting the crowd? Should there be offensive chanting in the games? It's all gone. Yeah, it just went completely and utterly silent. The crowd disappeared completely.
Yeah.
On a few occasions. I mean, come on, this is football. This is a working man's sport, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? You need to vent off and. You don't need to kick off.
If the language is that bad at football games, then surely it shouldn't be live at 5:30.
And good evening to Alison Shilton. Martin Cochrane says, Sam, no overtime?
No, definitely not.
No overtime tonight. He's going to the gym a little bit later. He's going to lose another, quarter of a pound, I think, tonight?
Well, I'm hoping for a maintain this week, because it's going to be a messy weekend this weekend. So
have a shave before you go. There you go.
No, forget that. Got to look groomed and look great.
Can I just quickly say that I think we need to get Alison in. I think she'd make a good first female pundit.
Well, not a female pundit. Alison, would you like to come in and do a show with us?
She knows
in a couple of weeks' time. She does know a football. And she's always very nice as well. Always very clever. Robert Doyle, but do you get rogues in the police force who use an excuse to go out? Yes, I'm sure you do. And Steve Cow really censoring the crowd, absolute joke. Steve, I tell you what, mate, if you can get the whole game, right, listen to the whole game, and every time there was a foul word, there was a Mr. Buttons somewhere up in the Sky TV land, hey, let's pull these faders down,
Yeah, they can do, yeah. I've noticed that, actually. The crowds, it's very muted on Sky, isn't it?
Brian Johnson says we should just keep singing SOTV on Sunday. They can't mute the entire match. And Alison says Chris Pugh would love that, with crying eyes. Where's the logic in moving the Wolves game to Monday night? There is no logic, Nigel Smith, in moving the Wolves game to Monday night.
It's just Sky again,
and
isn't it?
what we're doing there is just asking for the same kind of stuff to go on as went on.
Yeah, exactly. People are going to be booking that Monday and Tuesday off work if they can in December. To be fair, it actually suits me better, the game being moved to Monday night, but that's not the point anyway. But yeah, it is just going to cause grief. And the thing is, what they're going to do after the game is, if it's anything like Villa at home last season, where there was a good group of 100 to 200 Blues fans that were on the Cov Road towards the islands, that were waiting for the Villa to come out, and the police were moving them on. It's going to be like that after Wolves. Our Wolves getting back if they're coming by train, because they need to get into the city centre.
And as things stand, Sam, at the moment, there's not a great deal of chance of us winning that game, is there?
No, but Wolves are looking fantastic at the moment.
So, I don't know.
We don't know what we're going to do on the Monday night as yet.
We don't. Could we get Steve Cottrell's post-match interview up, because somebody wants to have a discussion?
It's only a few seconds.
If we play that, so Dave James Oswald says, could we discuss Cottrell's post-match comments? There were no surprises from Millwall on Saturday. That is worrying as to what the lads did in training. Reference a game plan, boys. Here we go. Let's play it.
Well, there's always lessons, We learned lessons last week playing against Cardiff. It is one of those leagues that you will always learn. You will always come up against difficulties. It's like that. The Championship, it's up and at you. And we know, or I know certainly, and I'm sure the players know. And unfortunately now it's back to the training ground. Disappointing, really, after it's been a good week. But when you don't get the result, it looks like a wasted week, if you know what I mean. Well, there's always lessons. You know, we learned lessons last week playing against Cardiff. You know, it is one of those leagues that you will always learn. You'll always come up against difficulties. It's like that. The Championship, it's up and at you. And we know, or I know certainly, and I'm sure the players know. And unfortunately now it's back to the training ground. Disappointing really after it's been a good week. But when you don't get the result, it looks like a wasted week, if you know what I mean.
What do you make of it?
Yeah, to be fair, I think the problem on Saturday was that I think you can say that they're prepared for it right on the training ground, and training was productive all week. That's absolutely fine. But I think that a lot of you got to consider the actual tactical aspect of the game and whether he got his tactics right in the first place. I think. Like I know Ndoye's got a fair bit of stick. I liked him on Friday against Cardiff. I
enjoyed his performance against
because he was pushing further forward. He was being that nightmare in the air. He's one of the most aerial duels this season in the league, and is dragging defenders towards him and giving Vassal room. So he needs to be pushed more further forward. Davies and Kieftenbauer can do all the mopping up in midfield by themselves. I just think tactically he might have got it wrong. You know, it's not as if you just need to go into the training ground and prepare properly for a game now. You need to get your scouts on the team 3 or 4 weeks before and analysing what they're doing and how they generally play, and then you can, either counteract that or try something else. But no team has any given right to win every single game in this league. You've got to work hard for it, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Some good comments coming in. Difficulties. We have more difficulties than anyone else every week from Alison. Sky are almost ruining the game now. The money involved is insane. I
will suggest one thing.
Idle slobs, nothing to do with the opposition. Well, it is something to do with the opposition, of course it is. Were the players scared to get injured with Villa coming up? No, I don't think any players thinks like that. I don't think so. I'm going to ask Grainger in a minute if he ever felt like that.
Yeah.
But can't see it. You tried to play Millwall at their own games from Robert Doyle and come unstuck. I think that might be it. Might have hit the nail on the head with that
Possibly,
one.
Yeah.
Davis was absolutely woeful from Kyle. And Millwall new air game and cancelled us out. Yeah, so midfield was awful at the weekend. We've got to tighten this up. We've got to tidy this up because we've got it's for us at home. It's the biggest game of the season.
Yeah, 100%.
Coming up on Sunday, and I just don't want to be let down.
No, as I was saying to you before, Nick, I think because of the poor start we've had, if we stay up this year and can try and go for it next year and avoid defeat to the Villa this season, I'll take that as a successful season right now because of the start we've had. I mean, you can people can debate the whole what happened with Redknapp situation to this dark hour, but if the plan was, when he originally come in, to do the 3 games and Cottrell take over and Redknapp go into it behind the scenes, why didn't they just do that then instead of...
We are where we are. We can't go back on that one. But a good point here from Tony Grogan. The ball was just lumped to Vassal and not passed to him on the floor to run onto.
No.
I was screaming at him, get it on the floor, play it on the floor. We're so much better than that. We're not one of these lumping teams. We're not.
Yeah.
And when we played Cardiff, we played and we played and we played, and it worked.
Isn't it awful that it's not Christmas yet and we're using that phrase, if we stay up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says it all, don't it?
Mrs. Brown, you've just destroyed my soul.
It's true, isn't it? It's true.
The thing is, the 2 things that we were crying out for towards the end of that transfer window was an attacking fullback on the left-hand side and a playmaker in the middle of the park, and we got them in Bramall and Walsh. And they're going to have a scrap in training, and neither of them were anywhere near the first team, and probably won't even be in the get a chance again now. They'll just wait for their loans to expire and send them back to their parent clubs.
Unfortunately, if you probably look at last season, probably 12 months ago this week, if you looked at one of our shows, we'd probably have the same phrase.
Yeah.
Not to bring you down or anything, but
Ian Fontaine says, "Stay up. We not get embarrassed by Villa about all we can hope for right now."
I mean, I still think we will stay up. There's definitely 3 worse teams in this league than us, and I'd say that's Bolton 100%. I think Burton are a lot weaker now, especially that they lost Jackson Irvine on deadline day, and then you could make the case, are we there then? That you could say there's going to be about 5 or 6 teams that be in that mix, but I'd definitely say Bolton and Burton are certs to go down this season. I'd be surprised if
Jack Monk says 4-3-3 doesn't work away from home. Why persist with it? Why persist with it if it doesn't work? Well, that's what you just said.
Well, it worked against Cardiff, It's what Carsley said, weren't it? After Sheffield Wednesday game, he went for the exact same starting lineup.
Yeah, he is saying away from home. That was one point that he did make there. At the end of the day, Ashley Cole come out and said to Harry, "Come and get me." He would have been great in the Championship. No, I don't know.
I just don't know if he has the legs anymore.
When is Stockdale and Jenkinson due back? That's one of the big secrets of the
Jenkinson, he got injured in August, didn't he? With dislocated shoulder. Yeah. So you'd assume that
injury that is as well.
Yeah, you'd assume that he'd be back at some point next month.
Yeah, I think.
Well, in November at some point. Yeah. But they always think that, the thing with a dislocation is it can just always happen again just so easily, can't
Tell me about it. I did my knee 13 times.
Same as my brother. He's done his 4 or 5.
Yeah. Alison Short says, "I don't think we will stay up." Oh dear. Oh, gosh. You're not good mood tonight, Alison.
So with Stockdale as well, Stockdale broke his wrist apparently splitting up that fight, or apparently lamping someone. So I'm only going by rumours, but if that's the case, again, it's another 2 or 3 month injury looking towards Christmas for Stockdale back.
Easily.
And an injury that is completely avoidable. You can forgive it if it's happened in a match or
if it's gone down or something like that.
But something stupid like that.
Yeah. And Shane's just reiterated what I said. It's like a mirror image of last season at around the same time. Just got to hope, really.
It is, it is, because they were in this position this time last year, weren't they? And we were all laughing.
We were a lot more confident going into the derby game last year because we were sitting high, doing well. Villa were really struggling. Bruce had just come in, and obviously it was 1-1 draw, weren't it? So fingers crossed. I'll take a point on Sunday if you offer it me now.
Take a point on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd rather us go behind and come back than us go ahead.
In the second half, we'll do the predictions because they come in thick and fast. So we'll get to that in the second half. Gardner and Keevedebell certainly centrally Sunday with Hotter, Adams, Vassell behind Gallagher up to. What about Boga?
Boga, I like him. I don't know whether he's a wide player. I think he could be a great little player in the middle of the park. I do, alongside the Keevedebell, to be honest.
Because they're paying Gallagher a fortune a week, a fortune.
I don't rate him personally. But, I don't think he offers anything more than what Djukovic does.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there was 4 or 5 championship clubs fighting over him, and I don't see how or why, to be honest. I mean, go prove me wrong. Djukovic proved me wrong. I was really iffy about that signing. But...
Got to say hello to my sister Pat. She's just joined us. Hope you're feeling a lot better, sweet cheeks. And just to let you know, my Adam's just opening his new...
Sorry, did you say sweet cheeks?
Yeah, sweet cheeks. My sister, sweet cheeks. Just to let you know, Pat, that my Adam is opening up his new barbershop on Sunday, which is why my hair looks like this. I've got to be his first customer. Sorry, on Monday morning. I've got to take him into work in Derby on Monday morning, and I'm going to be his first customer in his brand new shop. And what a cracking job he's done of it as well.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, it looks old school proper barbers.
Well, black and white floor and that.
Just wait and see. Wait till the pictures come out. Wait till the pictures come out. He just got himself a Facebook page up, so we'll be sharing that around.
Right then, I shall just go and set up our call then, Sweet Cheeks.
What, sorry?
I'll just go and set our call up, okay?
Yes then, Mrs. Brown.
I'm all excited now.
All excited. We're going to be excited.
He's probably in the pub with us, Phil. Somebody said that earlier.
We're going to be talking to the legend that is, and of course was, oh golly, what's his name? Martin Grainger. You belt me if it was.
So I remember one time we were playing Blackburn away on a Saturday. I was working the Friday. Some lad I was working with was friends with Marlon King, and he was speaking to Marlon on the phone. I was like, "Oh, Marlon, go get us a goal on Saturday." He went and scored. So that game, I always say, Marlon King was inspired by Big Sam. Absolute hero.
Yeah, brilliant. But yeah, it'd be great to get Martin Grainger on the line very shortly. He couldn't come into the studios. He lives down in Hertfordshire.
Yeah, a bit of a trek.
Very long way. So we'll crack on with that phone call very shortly. Once Boga, Hotter, Vassell and Adams get a run of games, we will be a force, but I'd like to see it, Keith McCartney. I think now is the time.
Yeah, but what do you think of Hotter? Where do you think his best position is? I think he's wasted that one.
I've not seen him play, so, in fairness, I can't really say.
See, because a winger for me is someone that's, a bit quick, strong and can get a ball in, whereas he's got a lot more he likes the ball close to him, intricate movement, small, short passing. I think he'd be much better in the number 10 role in the centre of the park. Yeah. Well, Bick says Gallagher can't do the lone striker role on his own, playing in a team with very little service, so not seeing the best of him, which is probably a very fair point to be right. And Jimmy Morgan, formations and tactics have nothing to do with the lack of effort and bottle. Play Boga and Hotter out wide, Vassell up top with Adams just behind. That could be handy as well, couldn't it? Yeah, I think Adams is a good player to have out wide. Not so much for the crossing, but he can cut inside, link up with Hotter can play him in or whatnot. And it's that pace in it, and we're crying out for a winger. That's the one, as if you remember when I was on here the August bank holiday, I said we never signed a winger. So from the way that Redknapp was setting up his team at the time and the signings he made, you was thinking he was going for a back three formation with the wing backs. The way that he signed players, and now we've gone back to this 4 at the back. And we're overstocked on right backs now. We've got 3 right backs, haven't we? And so Collan and Jenkinson when he's fit.
Yeah.
Left back, you got Grounds and Bramall. But there was no wing signings. Jota and Boga were playing that wide, and as I said, I just don't think they're natural wide players.
Tony Gregan says, "Would you drop Davis?"
Would I drop Davis on Sunday? No, because
he got the goal last year as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because if you look at his performance in 2 of the derby games last year, at Wolves away and Villa at home, he was magnificent and got a goal in both as well. He's a local lad. He knows exactly what it means to the fans, and I think you need someone like that out on the pitch.
Dennis says, "Put Sam up front." let's get him to lose a few more pounds first. Yeah,
you get my pace back.
You'll be done after 4 minutes. Okay. And quite a lot of people are agreeing to Hotter in the number 10 role.
Yeah.
So that all looks good.
I'm not just a pretty face, Nick.
I didn't say you were even a pretty face, to be honest with you. Who would you use as a sweeper? Brian Johnson says.
What, in the middle of the defence?
Yeah.
To be honest, if there's anyone in that back 3 that we've got, well, at the 3 centre-halves that we've got that could play the ball, you'd assume Harley Dean, because he's come from a Brentford side that's renowned for keeping the ball on the ground and passing it around. So I'd have Dean and then Roberts, and then again, you could make the case for Grounds playing on the left-hand side of a back 3 as well, couldn't you? Because I don't think he'd be great in a wing-back capacity, because it would be just him there, do you know what I mean? Whereas at left centre half, he's at least got cover.
Big Sing's also saying, Hotter, don't think he's made for the wing. He doesn't look like he's got the discipline.
No, he doesn't.
No. And I'd agree with Des. S.A. Shea looks in his best
But I think, do you think Hotter's like another Fabrini, where do you think he's a bit of a luxury player?
Yes, but I think he's a better Fabrini.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Thank you. As half the studio starts to fall to pieces around me. Is that on? Are we up?
Yeah, it should be okay, yeah.
Right, okay, ladies and gents, boys and girls, a legend that is of days gone by, but obviously still a legend nowadays. It is the one and only Martin Grainger. Hello, Martin.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. Yourself?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I beg your pardon?
I said thanks for having me.
Oh, no, it's an absolute pleasure, my friend. It's an absolute pleasure. First off, on behalf of every Birmingham City fan, I think what I will say for those that remember you playing is thanks for the memories. And there were some absolute beauties. Yeah, mate, I tell you what.
I still love you, Martin.
No.
Thank you.
Oh, dear. What are you doing with life nowadays then, Martin?
These days, I'm an actual qualified train driver.
A qualified train driver?
Which I'm really enjoying.
Was that something as a kid you always wanted to do?
Nah.
No, just fell into it.
Always wanted to be in football, but I mean the reason I'm probably not in football these days is because my eldest son, he's a professional at Leyton Orient.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
And my youngest, I've been coaching his team now since I was 6, 7 years old. So I didn't want to miss out on any of their weekends. So football, in the end, really took a back step for me, so I could spend the time with him.
Quite a few people are making comments. The G-Man played with a broken leg, Ledge. Best left back I've ever seen down the Blues from Sean Green, and that free kick against Man United. Always remember that from Stuart Kindred. Do beg your pardon. Keep right on, G-Man, the G-Man. G-Man, brilliant player. You've been Graingered. Benji Smith says evening Mart. Ian Fontaine says ledge. So not a single bad comment coming through about you, mate. So we still love you just as much as we always did.
That's very nice. Obviously, people know what I feel about the club. I spent a lot of time there. My whole family lived there for 7 or 8 years, and it just holds a special place within inside me.
It was 226 appearances for the Blues you did.
Yeah, it should have been a lot more. Unfortunately, injury cut short my career. But
even I get them, and that's just through walking.
Yeah, that's the only disappointing thing, really. When we get to where we wanted to be, and it sort of fell apart for me. But at least I was part of getting to.
Who was your first game against?
Barry Fry. When Barry Fry bought me, we played Grimsby away, and he came and put his arm around my shoulder and said, "Mark, can you play right back?"
And what position was you playing?
It was a 2-1 defeat, but my debut was right back instead of left back.
Okay. And can you play right back?
Yeah, play anywhere.
Anyway. Oh dear. Dean Lamos, how could there be a bad comment? He's a player that we all loved. That Grainger double tackle at Gillingham, do you remember that one?
Yes. Yeah, I've done the lads a favour, to be fair, because after I got sent off, we went and won 2-1.
Oh, right.
1-0 down.
And Des Fox is asking, did you ever play against them up the street?
Did I ever, sorry?
Did you ever play against them across the expressway? I can't say the word. It's not a word we're allowed to say.
Yeah, it was the first derby in the Premier League. I think we actually won, was it 2-0 or 3-0 at home, where Enkelman had the old famous throw one under his foot.
Oh, yeah.
I knew the rules.
I'd just got back from Florida, got off the plane, drove back home, and found the only pub in town that had got that game on, and watched it in the pub. So yeah,
I actually don't think he touched it, but his reaction just made the referee's mind up.
Yeah, and I've actually just got in touch with the guy who ran on the pitch afterwards as well. So.
Or the one that slapped Enkelman?
Yeah, well, just gave him the little...
Gave him a little salute.
Alison Shilton, I'm swooning over Mr. Grainger, the ledge, and can we sign his son? So your son's playing professionally now then for Luton, did you say?
Leyton Orient,
beg your pardon, Leyton Orient. I'm never going with an L. You've got the world's worst memory. How's he getting on?
Yeah, they started off quite well. They started off, the first 6 or 7 games they was up in the top 6, but they've had a real bad run at the moment. They've had quite a few injuries to key players, and I think they've only picked 2 points up in the last 27.
Yeah.
They've dropped down the league, but they're doing well in games, but they're just not scoring. On a non-personal note, Charlie's doing all right himself at the moment. He's putting in some good performances, so that's pleasing to him. But just the team needs to start picking up a few points, unfortunately. But it's going to be a long process. I mean, they had a couple of years with some Italian owners that sort of that it was a downward spiral since they took over. And the new owners, Ken Teague, is the CIO at Dunkin' Donuts, and he's told the fans it's going to be a 4 or 5 year project. And we're going to have some rough times, we're going to have some good times. So they're doing it in the right way, but with small steps. But they really need to start picking up a few points, and hopefully they can do that tomorrow night. They've got Gateshead at home.
Cracking. I think though, if an owner or somebody at the top end of a club comes out and says, we've got a 4 or 5 year plan for this club, I think every supporter would be on board with it.
You prefer that?
We've obviously had our difficulties.
I think
difficulties over the last few years.
Yeah, I think it's because they're a relatively big club for that division.
Yeah.
Everyone expects, we'll go and sign a lot of players, and we'll do this, we'll do that. But I think the previous owners, racked up a little bit of debt.
Yeah.
And they're doing it in the right way, small steps. I mean, if supporters know that, then they are getting a little bit disgruntled at the moment because obviously they're not winning. It's like the same situation with Birmingham, isn't it? They're at the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're not winning, people are going to start venting their anger. But hopefully they'll turn it round and just if they put 4 or 5 wins together, they'll be back up the top.
Cracking.
So
Gentlemen,
fingers
Pete
crossed.
Taylor says that he wore the number 3 shirt for every team he played for because I wanted to play fullback like Martin Grainger. Some cracking comments going through, yeah. Des Fox says there's a 4 to 5 week plan at St Andrews by the look of it. And great seeing Martin at the Blues 250 Club event from Bick. Special night and great recognition for the service to Blues. Bick does a lot of work with the youth, doesn't he? The kids around the city and that. So cracking guy, yeah. Matt Davis' best Grainger memory was first promotion season against Sheffield United as Martin stepped up to take a free kick at St Andrews. St Andrews erupted into keep right on. As the song ended, the ball at the back of the net. Absolutely amazing. So he has some brilliant memories all around. How often do you get back up to the Blues nowadays, dude?
See, a lot of my time is for the children. Like, well, I say the children are 21 and 17 now.
Yeah.
Their football is the most important for me. But I'm coming to the game Sunday.
Right.
I've been invited to obviously the Blues Villa game.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get a positive result.
Yeah.
Which would be nice. But no, not too much really, because I mean I don't like to miss anything they're doing. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I did say to the club I will try and get to do a bit more. Obviously, as and when I can.
Cracking. Michael Quinlan's asked Martin if he thinks we will do the Vile over on Sunday.
Well, that's what we're all on paper at the moment. You'd say no, wouldn't you?
You would,
but derby games, they're one-offs, aren't they? All the form and all goes out the window.
Very much so.
And then we'll see if Birmingham players put a shift in and they get a positive result. Then questions have got to be asked.
The difference between the Cardiff game and the Millwall game was chalk and cheese, mate. Honestly, it really was. It really, really was.
That's where they are where they are.
Yeah.
You know, the players are too inconsistent.
Tony Grogan says Blues need to show some VTs of Grainger to the squad. And can you ask Martin which ex-player he's still in touch with? More importantly, who he tees off with? That's from Adam Wilkes.
Who he tees off? I don't play so much golf these days because I have a little bit of a back problem. But I still speak to Darren Purse now and then. And then, I mean, you've got John O, Devlin Horsfield. Like, you have little Twitter comments here and there, Curtis Woodhouse. But not too many, to be fair. You all live in different parts of the country. I speak to Andrew Johnson quite a bit, to be honest.
AJ, cracking player.
Yeah. I think he's ambassador for Crystal Palace now, and he's part of a football agency. So I had a chat with him a little while ago, just about life. He's okay and doing well.
Brilliant. Paul,
but not too many, to be honest.
Loads and loads of questions coming in for you, my friend. Paul Hipkiss says the best player you've ever played with.
Best player I've ever played with? Oh, that's a toughie. To be fair, it's not a toughie. I mean, I didn't play that many with him because at the time I was injured, but Christophe Dugree
had
everything. That's what I was thinking.
What a man. Mark Hopkins' best Grainger goals was a solo run, rocketed the ball to the back of the net. Giggs did the same on that day and got all the press. Grainger by far the best. Somebody just asked Chris Brown if you're King Jong-un in the corner. You need to visit my son's barbers, matey. If Martin was to give the pre-team talk on Sunday, what would you say to them from D Bishop?
Just plain and simple, do it for that badge and for those people outside.
Yeah.
Because you've not done it as a team so far. I think you owe, which is going to be probably 25,000 Blue Noses in that ground, a performance.
Do you think players actually really do know what we feel and how we feel it?
I don't think so.
These
days, I think that side of it's gone. And it's not, people say, oh, you're just going to go on and moan about the money, but I think a lot of that's part of it. They just don't realise. I mean, I watched some of the Millwall game and if that was our dressing room, I mean, you had fiery people in our dressing rooms, myself, Horsfield, Devlin, Purse, Martin O'Connor. People will be getting pushed up against the wall.
Yeah.
And I just don't think the club's got that at the moment.
I don't think it happens anymore, does it, anywhere?
No, absolutely.
No, people are too nice, unfortunately. Yeah. And you don't win anything for being too nice.
Robert Doyle wants to know your best memory of the Blues.
Best memories? I always reflect back to the best ever atmosphere I ever played in front at the Blues. It was a 4-1 win semi-final against Ipswich.
Do you know what?
Never always like that.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I was absolutely convinced that was on the golden goal. And I was,
No, his first goal he scored.
I know, but in the first half, I was convinced it was golden goal. I was jumping over the chairs and everything, thinking, and then all of a sudden the kick-off happened again.
But that sticks out massively, and obviously after the three failed playoff defeats, then getting to the Millennium Stadium and held Darren Carter for putting in the penalty.
It is a story that I tell on here very often, and that game against Ipswich, I took a profoundly deaf lad to that football match, and it was the first time he ever heard anything in his life.
Yeah.
And that was the whistling right at the end. It was. My ears are still ringing from it, honestly.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable day. But then I've done a little interview when I come to the 250 club. When we went into the second game at Millwall, I just knew, you just had the feeling we was going to get promoted. It was our time this time.
Mm.
And we just had the belief in the dressing room that we wasn't going to get beaten when we got there.
All right, okay. Carrying on then, Harry Griffiths wants to know, ask him what it was like in the tunnel against Villa. Horsfield said that they used to use some dirty tactics.
Yeah, there's a few words here. I mean, they're the so-called big Premiership football club, and you just fire each other up, and there'd be a bit of screaming and shouting and eyeballing, you know, and I think they come out and frightened to death, personally.
Mm.
And we totally took it to them, and I thought we was far the better team for the 90 minutes.
When we were robbed in the Worthington Cup final, and we were robbed, how did you cope with that afterwards? Because I know as a supporter, I think it was David Ellery, the referee, wasn't it?
I believe if we didn't have a Premiership referee that day, we would have had the penalty in the last minute.
Absolutely.
Because we was Birmingham from the Championship, we didn't get it. But I mean, I thought we played so well that day for a Championship side against one of Europe's biggest clubs. I thought we deserved to win the game. Wasn't to be. Very, very disappointing. I mean, I was heartbroken missing the penalty. But then no one mentions mine because everyone always remembers AJ's, unfortunately. But yeah, it was very hard to pick yourself up from that. You just feel like you let everyone down, your family that's watching, and just gutted really, because that should have been ours.
We've just put a photograph of you up on the Facebook Live page of you holding the trophy at the Millennium.
Yeah, just after that,
looks like you got your
my Charlie held it, he dropped it and it bent.
Did he?
It was that heavy. I forgot how heavy it was, and I give it to him. He just dropped it, and the bottom part just bent up at a 90-degree angle.
Oh dear! Off to the jewellery quarter for that then.
Yeah.
Ken Plus, the best game was a Vile game on a Tuesday night, 2003, first derby in the Premiership. And Tom Balfour, does this side at the moment have it in them to win this on Sunday?
Well, like I say, on paper you would say no, because I mean Villa have been pretty consistent over the last couple of months, and obviously Birmingham haven't. But hopefully that all goes out the window, and the 29,000 Blue Noses are going to be there, can give them another. Well, it looks like they're going to need another 70% the way they've been playing. But hopefully they can, if they get a positive result, we can turn their season around games like this.
Yeah,
so fingers crossed they can.
It is the big one though, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry, I missed that.
Yeah. Tony Grogan saying you didn't let us down, and Dennis Bohemia says, what's Grainger's thought on Mr. Muscat?
On Mr. Muscat?
Yeah,
no comment.
No comment. All right, leave it at that.
Yeah.
Robert Bird wants to know. Robert wants to know if your son's a blue nose.
Sorry, say that again.
Robert Bird wants to know if your son is a blue nose.
They were to a certain degree, but one's a Spurs supporter and one's a Man United supporter.
So they're both Birmingham supporters then.
Yeah.
How much needle was there between Martin and Muscat? We all remember him looking like he wanted to lamp him, Stephen Cale.
Yeah, he was just one of those players, Kevin Muscat. He wouldn't tackle you, he'll do you, and he'll do you off the ball when it was 70-30 in his favour.
Yeah.
That's what people used to get the ump with. That's why, I must admit, Trevor used to say to us, leave him alone. But me and Martin O'Connor, we didn't concentrate on the game, we just concentrated on trying to kick him. Which which is probably not the best tactics when you've got two players not concentrating on a game, you're going after one person.
So as a person, taking the football thing aside a little bit, what was the feeling like when you knew that football team had just got into the Premier League?
Oh, it's just your dream, isn't it?
Well, it was always mine.
Yeah, you took. I mean, when my dad convinced me about the club, because obviously being a southern lad, and I didn't really know how big Birmingham was when they come in for me, and my dad sort of said to me, "Look, you've got a sleeping giant there. You've got to go. It's a massive club. Getting that club to the Premiership was." I mean, I'll never achieve anything like that again in my lifetime, obviously, but it was just an unbelievable feeling. But then for me, after 6 games, it fell apart. But at least I was part of the history of getting there.
Ah, absolutely superb, mate. I've got goosebumps all over me, honestly. I genuinely mean that. Kyle Colclough says, what's Martin's thoughts on Steve Cottrell?
He talks a great game. It's just hope he can produce it for the team and the team play for him.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that
he sounds very confident in his ability. I've not known too much about Steve. I've not come across him too much because I think he became into management after I'd gone, really. But it's just try and get behind him and see if he can motivate the players into turning the season around.
From a supporter's point of view, there are a lot of supporters that are thinking that there's a disharmony or a discord in the dressing room at some point.
I think there is.
How do you manage that out as a manager?
You've got to have it out.
Straight out.
Individually and collectively. You just got to thrash it out. If it has people, you get punch-ups on the training ground. You get you get punch-ups on the training ground. People, you can't win football matches with disharmony within the camp. It's just not going to work. It doesn't matter who's manager.
Yeah.
So senior players like Robbo, I mean, he's the sort of character I was. They've got to start digging people out, and if people don't like it, tough.
Nice words.
Yeah.
Just hope it happens. Brian Johnson, is Martin still in touch with Barry Fry?
Not last time I see Baz was my Charlie played for England under 18s a couple of years ago at St George's Park, and I had a chat with him there. But no, not seen too much of Baz, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
I mean, since when I finished, I sort of stayed out of the way of football for a little bit. Just kept my head down and just got on with life, basically.
There's a gentleman here called Paul Ipkiss who's constantly asking who's the worst player you've ever played with.
Ferdinand Coley.
Who?
Ferdinand Coley.
Oh,
Ferdinand Coley. He played in Serie A, I think. He was possibly the worst right back I've ever seen.
Oh, you ain't seen me play.
And he played in a World Cup, I believe.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Dennis is asking who's the best manager you've ever had?
Ooh, I'm going to go back to my youth team days. My old youth team manager, Steve Foley.
Steve Foley, yeah?
He was unbelievable. He was the best coach and the best man manager I think I've ever played for.
Yeah, it's
Did you mean at Birmingham City?
And I think you meant anywhere.
Well, yeah. I mean, at Birmingham City, to be fair, Baz was the best 10 weeks for entertainment in my career.
I can imagine. We've tried to get him in, I've written to him a few times, but...
he's brilliant. What a character.
He don't answer. And did you ever sniff the flag? That's from Robert Doyle.
Sniff the flag?
It's all right. Right, OK, sometimes before games, they bring this enormous flag around, yeah?
Oh, right.
And it starts off in the corner of the Tilton and then goes round the Cop, yeah? You know the one, don't you?
Yeah.
You know the one, Martin?
Yeah.
Well, it stinks like an old shed.
Oh, nice. Well, when I'm there Sunday, if he comes round, I'll have a sniff.
Well, everybody dreads it coming past them, to be honest with you. Because, oh, no, the flag's coming out, it stinks. And it's just a really long joke on here about the smelly flag. Who was that, you? That was you, was it? I think Martin's passed out.
Even that made me jump.
Did it ever kick off in training sometimes, says Christian Treadwell?
Yeah, you'd have your disagreements. I mean, I used to train. I used to like to train how I played, so I would tackle people in training.
Right.
Darren Purse was the same. And you get a few people who wouldn't like it, but if you train how you play, then you'll play like that on a Saturday. And we always used to fly in training.
And Adrian Howell says, Martin, would you be interested in getting back into pro football coaching, maybe?
Yeah, possibly one day. It just depends what the role is and where it is, really.
And
I wouldn't say no.
And Steve Cahill says he win the George before the game on Sunday.
Oh, I've got the missus, so probably not.
No. So, where do people look out for you then? Which one are you going to?
I've been invited to do. I think it's a Jasper Carrot Suite. I think I've been up there. We've been invited for a meal, and I think we're poshing it for the day.
Very nice. Very nice.
I prefer to be out in the stands, but with the normal people. But there you go.
Joe Britland says, was it true about Grainger and Mooney having a bust-up in the changing rooms at Walsall away? What was it about?
It was the Sheffield United away.
Sheffield United away. So, no, it wasn't true then, was it?
Yes, there was a few arms thrown about.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, things flare up, things happen, and you get on with it.
You were right up there, right by the main stand, not the main stand, the, what do they call it now? What's the railway end, we'll call it, because that's how I've always known it, yeah? And I think it was a Tuesday night, a sunny Tuesday night, and a guy had his leg broke quite seriously.
Tom Bennett.
Tom Bennett, that's the man, yeah. I wrote to him, actually, after the afterwards, and got a very nice letter back as well, and from the club. I'd just like you to know that I heard that snap in the Tilton. Oh,
did you know... the guy took the free kick and he sort of floated it, and I had my eyes on the ball and I just put my foot up to kick the ball, and he didn't see me coming, and he tried to teapot volley it, and his shin hit the bottom of my foot.
Yeah.
And he said, I can still. It's like two snooker balls going together. I can still hear it now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I said to Mum the second I heard it, I said, "That's a break. That's gone."
Yeah, it wasn't.
You were both on the floor. I was just hoping, were you?
I think you'd be before my time.
Not a nice feeling, isn't it?
Not a nice one. No.
Not for him.
No.
But also not for you that you've done it as well.
Yeah. Christian Treadwell again. Which player did you dread playing against?
Dread playing against? I mean, people with skill and pace, they're sort of half predictable. But the people that used to give me trouble is people like, I'm not just blowing smoke up his backside, is Paul Devlin, John McCarthy, Gareth Ainsworth, because those sort of players, I mean, if I had a winger up against me, if I could in the first 5 minutes stick a real hard challenge on you, I know you're not going to come back to me for another 25, 30 minutes, you're not going to fancy it.
Yeah.
But Paul Devlin, John McCarthy and Gareth Ainsworth, a lot of the time, you'd be looking up at the sky where they've topped you up in the air. But I used to enjoy those days, but they were the sort of winger who were direct, quite pacey, not particularly the most skillful wingers in the world, but they were direct and they were effective what they'd done. But they also liked to challenge. They liked to stick their foot in as well. So, yeah, they were a pain in the backside, to be honest.
Was there a team you ever dreaded coming to St Andrews?
A team we dreaded coming to St Andrews?
Yeah.
No, I didn't fear anyone now.
Nobody?
No.
Because Sir Alex Ferguson is well known for saying the place that he dreaded coming most was St Andrews.
Did he?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not being funny. When it's a full house, there ain't no better atmosphere.
Is there? No. And what's it really, 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 really like? You know, because like we stand on the terraces and sing Keep Right on to the end of the road, but as a player, you know, like if a goal we've just netted or you're just walking out, how does that anthem as a player make you feel?
It just gives goosebumps.
Oh, I've got up now.
It's like
thinking about it.
I'll go back to the Ipswich game.
Yeah.
I've got the hairs are standing up on my arms now.
And mine are. Every time you mention it. Look, terrible.
I was really young with the Ipswich game, and I still remember it like it was yesterday.
Apart from Grainger himself, who else was the club's dressing room's hard man from Sonny Ahmed?
Well, Martin O'Connor, Darren Purse,
Yeah.
Paul Devlin was a fiery little Rottweiler, Jeff Horsfield.
Yeah, we've had Devs in.
He's in tomorrow as well, by the way.
Sorry?
He's in tomorrow morning as well.
Oh, yeah, Devs is starting to do a show here
tomorrow
every.
I was there, yeah. Dev was fiery. Dev loved to moan if you didn't give him the ball as well.
Every Tuesday morning at
Every fortnight.
beg your pardon, every fortnight. What time, Chris?
Around about
12:15.
About 12:15. It's a no holes barred Paul Devlin show.
You're going to hear everything.
A lot.
A lot.
Right?
That'd be good.
No holes barred. There you go. And that's every 2 weeks. Brian Johnson says Daishi, yeah, he was a fiery character and all, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think I was with Daishi probably only a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
As I come in, I think a few people were going out. So he was a real tough cookie as well, big Kev Francis.
Kevin Francis, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, when there was a few of us, I mean, when you get niggly little injuries in the gym, and we had a 32-kilo punch bag, and that's the only punch bag I ever heard win when he used to punch it. Curtis Woodhouse is a tough little cookie as well.
Who, sorry?
Curtis Woodhouse.
Curtis, we've had Curtis on the show. He's done a phone in for us as well. Yeah, he was obviously went into the boxing world afterwards, didn't he?
Yeah, he was absolutely mental. A great lad, though.
Yeah, great lad. Yeah.
Mental.
Stevie Smith saying Tony Coton, Mick Harford, and Harry Griffith says, "What was Savage like?"
Savage.
Yeah.
Bit of a girl, to be honest.
Do you mind if we play that? We've got Ian Dunter in from Talk Sports.
Nah, you can play if you want.
But if we play that next week to Ian Dunter off Talk Sports.
Yeah, go on.
I'm just hoping we're all in a good mood next Monday. That's all I'm hoping for, mate. Oh, dear, Martin. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Don't think I'm ever going to... I don't know.
Well, he's got the air to go with it as well, hasn't
I beg your pardon?
Savage got the air to go with it as well.
Not now, he hasn't. Now he's cut it all off, hasn't he? Look like...
Oh, yeah, but he's got it even more boof-hunted now, hasn't he?
Dear. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Kevin McCarthy said that side epitomised... Oh, hang on, I've just lost it. I've lost my thread. Oh, I've clicked the wrong button. I'm sure you'll get the thread, what he says, everything about Blues at the time. A dead ball situation, right? Everybody around me, and I was a season ticket holder when you were playing there at the time, everybody around me would just shout, Grainger!
Yeah, I mean, as a fullback, you don't get many opportunities. So sometimes you used to have to fight Devs to take it, but more often than not, he used to let me take them, and I got my fair share.
Yeah. Well, what do you score for Blues? 25 goals?
Yeah, something 25, 28, something like that.
25.
I think it works out. I scored 1 to games ratio, 1 every 10.
About 1 every 10. 26 games, 25 goals, which is not a bad ratio, like I say, for a fullback. Yeah.
Didn't miss a penalty until I come to Birmingham. I think I missed 5 or 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't you ever think of not taking them then?
Yeah, I didn't. Well, I didn't get a choice in the end.
Yeah, right, okay. So you were playing for Brentford back in '96, and then Birmingham City come knocking on the door. That must have been quite a feeling. Or weren't you aware?
The manager pulled me in the office, David Webb, and he said, "Look, I've had a bid coming for you from Birmingham City. You've got no option. You've got to go." I was like, "All right, okay." I think the club were financially in a bit of a bad way. Was you happy there at the time? Yeah, at the time, my family was happy. I was playing some of the best football to date of my career, and so I went home and met my dad and said, "Look, Birmingham have come with me, Dad. What do I do?" And he said, "No." He said, "Son, you got to go." He said, "It's a massive club." He said, "It's a sleeping giant," and he sort of sold it to me. So I didn't really know too much of being a youngster from North London. You don't really know too much past Watford. And he sort of told me a bit about the history of the club and the size of the club, and that was that, really.
And the passion of the supporters.
In the Grosvenor Hotel with the wife a day later. I think it was at the PFA Awards, and I went up to his room and he answered the door in his shirt, dicky bow and socks and pants. And we conducted the deal in his bedroom. The wife was with me as well, so he's sitting there in his pants and his tucked shirt and dicky bow.
Incredible.
Yeah, only Baz could do that.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. If you were going to say anything to this group of players about the rest of the season, not just Sunday now, and like I say, you know, the difficult, it's an awkward thing really, because like as supporters, like I said earlier, we get the feeling, we don't know, but we do get the feeling that there is some disharmony in the camp. Like I don't know what to even think about it. It's just not like it used to be. Not like it used to be back in your day, mate, is it?
No, they've got to forget about the disharmony and remember who's paying their wages. All them people that turn up every week.
Yeah.
You know, you put yourself aside with your petty little arguments with teammates who don't quite get on with. But when you're on that pitch, you're 11. You do everything you can in your power to win for that blue jersey.
Mm.
I mean, having a little have the argument afterwards. You know, when you get over that white line, you've just got to put yourself about, give 110%, run harder than them, tackle harder than them. Because, like I said on an interview I did a little while ago, all these people go on about philosophy of football. Football ain't changed for 150 years. You've got two goals, a green pitch, white lines of football, level on each side, be organised and run around and want it more than them. All this philosophy, we'll roll it out of the back and this tippy-tappy.
We'll see if we can get that message passed on to a certain dressing room before Sunday then.
Well, you know, I mean, some of them need a rocket up their arse, excuse my French.
It's the first foul language we've had on the Tilton Talk Show in 7 years. He did, yeah. Power to the Grainger.
Yeah, but Grainger's allowed. He's allowed one.
Nobody's going to argue with him, man, mate.
No.
Yeah. Stevie Smith says wages seem to be the divide in the dressing room. It's just attitude seems to be the divide. You know, it's like,
I think we just have a bunch of players that you got one half that have come in within the last year or so that are going to be on higher wage than the rest of the boys that were there originally under Rowett, and that's your divide in the dressing room. I think it is predominantly down to money.
But the thing is, when you sign a contract, doesn't matter if it was for Gary Rowett, it doesn't matter if it was for Harry Redknapp or Steve Cottrell, you was happy with the money that you was offered.
Yeah, totally agree with you.
So if someone comes in and they're on £10,000 a week, whatever it is, more than you.
Darren Carter said exactly the same last week.
A better job. But you was happy with the contract that you signed. So if you're not happy with the contract you signed, say you want to leave and give all your money back.
Totally agree. Can't argue with that.
Gary Johnson, beg your pardon, says it's a breath of fresh air. Listening to Martin, old school player, brilliant. And agreed, Mr. Grainger, they all need a good solid kick-in from Dean Lomas. Well said, that's what we want, players to give 100%. Mike Hansen, and spot on Kyle Colclough. And what a bloke from Kyle again. So there you go. Well, Martin, listen, we've taken up enough of your time, mate. Really, really, really appreciate you coming on. Excellent stuff. And you've now been immortalised on the Tilton Talk Show.
Yeah.
And we guys here, just to let you know what we're about, do this each and every single week for free. We don't get any money for it whatsoever.
We do it for love.
Love of the blues.
Love of the blues.
And Chris owns all the studio and the setup. We usually have another guy in called Mr. Fun because he never smiles. He comes from...
What's he, a Villa fan?
Nah, he's not. No, don't call him that. He's on holiday. And he was listening. Oh. No, he won't be happy next week, no.
Is he ever happy?
But then Sam's gallantly stood in for us this evening. Myself, I come all the way from Utoxeter, which is up by St George's Park, as you probably know. Yeah. So that's what we do. And we do this because we just love the blues, and that's it. That's our contribution to it.
That's brilliant. Well, thanks for having me. Great show.
No, you're a top man, mate.
Again, don't hesitate to give me a call.
Yeah, no problem. We'll do.
I love you, Martin. Thank you.
Martin Grainger, ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute legend. An absolute legend.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Chris, for that.
I can't wait to tell my mum I told Martin Grainger.
You see, the phone-ins do work, ladies and gentlemen. What happened with last week's phone-in, Chris? What happened with last week's phone? You know, an all echoey last week. What happened with last week's phone-in?
Yeah, I'll tell you in a second.
Tell me in a second. All right, okay, we're going to get the cup ready then for the last week's competition for the Tom Ross signed book.
Do you want me to go, Rick?
Yes, please, if you would, my good man. And, yeah, absolute legend. Wicked show. Not yet, no, we'll wait for Brownie to get back and then... Got to thank our Mr. Buttons for putting all the names in the hat from last week. All you got to do is share the show on your own personal Facebook page to be in the chance of winning a prize. Okay, we'll just quickly discuss then what happened with the sound last week.
I got a feeling that Dal was trying to record it
and it was causing a feedback.
It was causing the feedback.
There you go. So we've just proved that we can do a live phone-in. Live phone-in shows will be coming soon. Don't forget, we've got Ian Danter in next week, so that will be taken up, obviously, with the
And he's
show.
live in here.
He is live in the show. He's live, so you can ask him any question you want. Ian Danter from TalkSport, an absolute legend of a Birmingham City supporter.
Massive
top man.
blues fan.
Top man.
Massive
I used to
blues fan.
deliver newspapers to his mum and dad's house when I was a child.
Yeah?
To earn my money to go to St Andrews. There you go. How about that? I've rubbed noses with the best of them.
Well, yeah.
Don't you worry. All right, it's competition time. Here we go.
Here we go then.
And just pick one of them out for me, Sam,
one
please.
We'll all blame Sam then. No.
Drum roll.
I haven't got one.
So, Roy Williams.
Roy
Roy
Williams.
Williams.
There you go. Roy
Roy
Williams shared the show last week. He's just won himself a signed copy of Tom Ross' book, The Game's Gone.
You're welcome,
Congratulations to you, Roy. All you got to do is get in touch with the show and give Chris Brown your
Just message me.
address, and he will ensure that that book gets to you. It is now
certainly will.
officially yours. And
I'm
it's
wrapping it up as we speak.
And it's a signed copy.
It is signed.
It's a
And
signed
I'll have a
copy.
points for pulling your hat out. Name out the hat.
There you go. So if we could keep that. There you go, mister.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Roy.
Yeah, all you got to do every single week then is share the show on your personal
That's
Facebook
it.
page to be in. Did you win? Or did you purchase that yourself?
This. I got this.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, for coming on show.
Oh, yeah.
You just got
Because
that
you
for
just
being
love
Sam.
me so much.
We're overcome with emotion.
Then I thought I'd give you some free
Brian
advertising.
Johnston wants to know if this cup is bent as well. No, Brian, that is.
No.
That is going to be.
That's going to be
Is
a
it going to
good
be
one. For next season.
for next season? Right. Okay. Starting next football season, that is going to be the Tilton Talk Show Super Six Trophy,
Believe
which
it or
will
not,
have your name engraved on it if you win
Yeah.
the Super Six, and it will entitle you to. Not keep it for a year because we'll keep it on your behalf. Cause
But
we
we'll
probably
put a
won't give it
little,
back. But you will get a photograph of it,
Down a plaque on it.
a little plaque,
Yeah,
or a little
get a
bit
few
of
on there,
engravement.
can't
Take
we?
up the jewellery quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can do it myself with a
we'll
pen.
get your pin out.
Felt tip pen. Yeah.
So that next year is going to be the Super Six Trophy. Talking about Super Six, we won't be talking about Super Six.
No, because
No, it was horrible.
Did you not do
weekend,
very
wasn't
well?
it? I got 7 points because I thank God Man City won 3-0. Otherwise, it would have been a really poor week for me.
Yeah, Mr. Brown.
yeah,
Don't you want to talk about it?
four.
I
I'm
think
still in
I've
the
got
top
two.
10, still top
I've got
10, but I think there's somebody else in.
We have another Tilton Talk Show presenter who has leaped you.
I wonder if any of the Tilton Talk Super 6 League predicted Huddersfield just to win, let alone 2-1, just to win.
I know. No, I didn't.
No,
No, I didn't. But there were 6 or 7 people that predicted the 7-2 Man City one last week, weren't there?
Really?
Yeah, around the country, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Brian Johnson says, I'm up there. There we go. I should imagine that's Super 6. And
Well, I started off the season really poor in that Super 6, but I'm up to 40th now. Just hit over the 100-point mark, so I'm getting there. I'll catch you up.
Dennis is saying King Jong-un to the top right, Donald Trump in the middle, which I suppose is me. Come on then, who's on the left? Dear. Okay, it's the big Ding Dong Derby on Sunday.
Yeah.
Now is the time, we've got just about 15 minutes of the show to go.
Scary.
Now is the time where we ask everybody in the studio for their predictions and, of course, you for your predictions. I think we've been infiltrated, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've been infiltrated from across the city.
Yeah, we'll get one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
get rid
wipe
of it,
wipe them off. Just get a piece of toilet paper and remove it from the screen.
I bet it was my fault, to be fair, because I shared the when I was last on, I shared it onto the old podcast page, which would have had a load of Villa fans on.
I'll share it with
So I apologise.
Benji Smith 1-1. It's going to be a draw from Kyle. 2-1 for the Blues from Paul Hipkiss. We beg your pardon. 2-2 Tony Grogan. 3-1 from Sam Lana. I'll take that one, Sam, any day of the week. And always infiltrated, obsessed. Yeah, well, they've got nothing like this themselves, have they? You know, they've got 2 people that can communicate
No.
with each other. So that's the problem with them. So they come over here for a listen. 3-2 Ross Edge. Pat says 2-1 the Villa. Carl Jones 2-2. And 0-0 from Steve Smith. I hope it's not a boring 0-0. 2-2 Brian Johnson. How do we got to join Super 6? If Ray is listening, can you please put up the Super 6 link?
Well, he's over in Fuerteventura.
Can you take that person's name then, and we'll
Yeah,
get
yeah.
in
Well,
touch?
if they go to the Tilton Talk page,
I think
search for Tilton Talk group, and the pin's on there. So,
Is it?
yeah,
Okay.
just search. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
just clicked off my link again. I'm doing really well tonight.
Okay.
Right.
What am I thinking? I will take a point, and I think it will be a draw. To be honest,
Okay.
I'm actually more relieved that we lost at the weekend because we're consistently inconsistent, which means that we'd be due a good result this weekend.
We're due a good result against them as well, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know, because we've not had one there for a well.
The last time we beat them was in the cup.
A draw and a thing. Yeah, beat them in the cup.
Yeah.
So we're due one.
Yeah, I'll go 1-1 on Sunday. I think we may take the lead, and I think Villa will claw it back. I think it'll be a reverse of last season.
I'm going to use the old cliche that form goes out the window in
It
these
does.
sort of games, and I'm going to go for a surprising 2-0 win for Blues. It's gone quiet.
2-0.
2-0 win.
I'm going to go for a cheeky 2-1. There you are.
See, Mr. Fun's back now.
Are you joining in? No, Mr. Buttons is not. No, he's not. He's not going to make a prediction.
No, he's not going to.
Are you going to make one in your head? Yeah. Are you going to tell us if you were right next week? Yeah. Are you going to tell the truth?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's Michael, ladies and gentlemen, learning the ropes and teaching Chris Brown a trick or two on the way.
Yeah, show me.
Okay, now the shout box has gone very quiet for me. I don't know what's quite happened on that because my link on my personal laptop went down. So
We're okay.
You're okay, are you?
Yeah, we're okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll just do a refresh then.
Okay.
Benji Smith.
He predicts
two red cards.
Benji Smith, 2 red cards. Feisty.
Wouldn't it just be great if Terry got sent off?
Yeah, in the first minute.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
No, I want to see Vassal skinning first.
Yeah.
And cries.
Or he gets sent off for Vassal skinning him and kicking out at him.
Imagine that scenario there.
It'd be perfect.
John Terry come on up against Vassal. I mean, a guy can run as fast as Usain Bolt, can't he?
Well, I think I can run a bit quicker than him at the moment.
Downhill, maybe.
Maybe a few more pounds.
Yeah, just a couple.
Yeah,
Terry wants to see Terry own goal. Yeah, that's very popular.
That's what we want to see. Yeah. A Terry own goal and then a crying.
Jason says, I'm going for a 1-1, but would love a 1-0 win.
We'd be better off if Terry got carried off.
That's how it would be absolute scenes if Gardner scored as well.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but Vassell's got to score because of his connections.
Oh yeah, of course, his cousin, isn't it? Yeah. He's definitely the better cousin.
Yeah.
I'm still confused as to how his cousin got to the 2004 Euros with England. Still baffles me to this day that.
Yeah. Robbo will be on oxygen jury, says Penelope Wood.
Duty.
Nick Berry's probably a Villa fan, but I'm
Nick
just
Berry,
guessing.
tell
He
you
says
something,
it's
Nick.
3-0 Villa.
Every loser wins.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's right. Yeah. I'm old enough to remember that song. Every
I bet your mum
loser
used to watch
wins.
that programme.
Probably, no idea.
And Doy to get a Deli Belly the night before, says David Jams.
Everyone's missus should be sat together to put Terry off. A very big welcome to Alan Roy from Newcastle. He is a Newcastle supporter. He's a very good friend of mine, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you the weekend with your beautiful lady Tricia. I cannot wait.
Brian Johnson says he wants Nick Berry to
Are you going up to the turn?
go
Are you?
back.
Sorry.
You're going up that way, are you?
No, they're coming down here.
Oh, okay. I'm going up there.
Also, got to say good luck to Mel and Gaz on Friday. Even though they're Stoke fans, they're getting married on Friday.
Oh, fair play.
I should be at the wedding along with
Courtney.
Tricia, and blah blah blah.
Courtney the Blue Nose.
Listen, I've already turned one of the granddaughters into the blue. I'm working through the family. I'll get there.
It's hard work.
Dean, no foul language on the shout box at all, please, mate. Don't worry about him. He'll be gone soon. He'll be crawling back on.
He's been told to go back to EastEnders.
Yeah. And Terry injured and out for the season, and a sneaker win at the end from Steve Portman. And Doy to crush Lansbury like a worm. I like that. That is my saying of the day. I want you to keep that one, mister. All right? I want you to put that one on the... Can you pin that post?
Have you seen Pete Taylor's?
Pete Taylor, when did it come through?
Just.
Right, okay, Pete Taylor. If it gets Birmingham City win, I'll happily donate my missus to John Terry. If we lose, I'll happily donate mine.
Oh,
See
yes.
you guys, great show. Thanks for reading my questions to Grainger. Adam, it was an absolute pleasure. Martin Grainger, an absolute legend, and he was a pleasure to talk to, and I'm sure we'll have him back on the show before very long indeed. Steve Smith, what pubs will be open? As far as I'm aware...
I was actually hoping if someone could tell me if there's a pub that would be open from 6 on Sunday morning. Yeah.
6 in the morning.
I'll get back on the coach at
Wetherspoons.
5:40 in the morning.
Wetherspoons for breakfast.
Well, worst case scenario, I'll just have a Mackie D's
I think if
brekkie.
you go around the market, there's usually a pub around there.
Yeah, well, I know Cleary's is opening at 7 and St Anne's at 8.
Yeah.
I don't know about like the George, the Roost, and all that by the
And then you
ground.
got
And Dennis
Witherspoons.
Bohemi wants Gabby to be harpooned. This is what I like.
I tell you that. Do you remember last season actually when they just took the lead through Gary Gardner? The first thing that Bruce did after all the celebrations was died down was send Gabby down the touchline to warm up in front of like
Yeah,
four and that,
yeah.
and that just took away that section's attention from the game and we focused on him, which is I actually thought was actually quite a smart
Penelope
move.
Wood, Terry will be needing oxygen after chasing around after Vassell and Shea Adams. Just will be good to see the ball over the line, absolutely agree. And do any of us enjoy this game? This game, David, is what we live for.
Yeah.
This game is what we
It's the
are
pinnacle.
all about.
What we must mention is the on the
Just
21st
coming to
minute.
that.
You coming to that one?
Yes, I'm just
I know,
I'm
come on.
leading right into it.
You
Okay,
carry
no,
on
you
then.
carry on.
No,
Go
no,
on.
you carry on.
Go on, I want to spoil your thunder.
No. On the 21st minute, that we, I think there's people want to do a clapping thing on the 21st minute for the Justice for the 21.
Yes, just
off
for the
the
21
head.
is
Yeah.
obviously for the 21 people that were killed in the Birmingham pub bombing
Yeah.
back in the 70s. And they still haven't received the justice that they feel is well and long overdue to them.
Yes,
So
thank you.
what we do
That'd be
on
great.
odd occasions is try and
Raise
a little bit
attention.
of awareness. And obviously if we can get that 21st minute clap live on the Sky, they will find out about what it's all about and they will say so on the TV.
Both
That's
sets
the plan.
sets of supporters.
Yes,
That
both
makes
sets of
sense.
supporters.
I think it's one thing that we can actually agree with them
Yeah.
that across the city with, can't we?
Slightly divide. And
Yeah.
that divide will be wide as the Nile on Sunday, right? As wide as the Nile could stretch, right?
Yeah.
That's how wide that divide is. But when it comes to this subject, then there is a
Yeah.
togetherness. There is. There is a
100%.
James
Just-
Brown, oh my God. Well, sorry, one thing I know is come January we have to sign a certain midfielder, central midfielder who can hold the ball up, doesn't panic, an all-rounder. Best possible example I can give is Barry Ferguson. That would be good. Quite a good player. Quite a good player.
Just to answer Dennis, I won't be doing the ladies update this week unless you want to
She's going
talk.
to introduce it as well. And now Sam.
I mean, my
doing it.
love life currently is non-existent, if that helps.
This show did not need to know that information. Paul Hipkins says you won't lose 6 stone in Mackie's breakfast stamp. Great show again. Keep right on. Hopefully a happy one next week. Bleepy, I hope it's a happy one. We've got Ian Danter in from TalkSport. It's going to be an absolute thriller next week. Carl Davis, I hate Gabby. Yeah, we all do, mate. We all do. We all do. If a Bong Lahore comes on as sub, we should be worried now.
By the way, when was it we were going to do that Tilton Talk day down at Solihull Moors for the Blues ladies?
Actually,
Remember-
the people are talking to their people.
They're still talking.
And
Yeah.
the other bit of good news, or
Yeah.
are we allowed to say so yet?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Off you go then,
Yeah,
Mrs.
well,
Brown.
we are going to do a show from St Andrews.
Live from St Andrews.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, thanks to
How much
Adrian
is the
Howell,
ticket?
who set that
We
up
don't
for
know how
us.
much the tickets are yet. We're going to sit down and have a...
I think they're going to be free. We're going to make it free.
Well, why don't you just offer like for like a £5 and donate, like put the proceeds
Well, we
to
could have a
charity or
bookie, I
something?
suppose, on the door.
Exactly for the children's hospital.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. That would, yeah.
And as presenters, we all pay the same amount for going as well.
Of course, yeah.
So
Yeah. Awesome.
If you're in the room, you pay to get in. So
We
that-
don't know
that
the
will
date yet, but it's going to be.
No, we don't know the date, but that will be
Before
announced over the
Christmas.
next couple of weeks,
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah.
before Christmas. Will it be on a Monday, do you think?
It'll definitely be on a Monday.
So their people are definitely talking to our people.
Oh yes, it's
But it
going to
won't
be
be
on a
December
Monday
the
night.
4th.
How about the day before the Wolves game?
It's on a Monday, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean before the Wolves game on that Monday.
It's going to. I don't. I wouldn't get it.
Just
set
have it
up
on
in time,
early.
no. But that's going to be good. It's going to be good. And there's a promise of a player attending as well. So there we go.
Awesome.
Shush.
Well, current first
Shush,
team
shush,
player.
I'm not
shush.
saying
You've said
anything
too
else.
much already.
Said too much
You've
already.
said far too much already. There you go. Okay, well, time has almost beaten us.
Good a minute. Yeah.
What a cracker that was.
It's good.
Even though, we suffered the face of defeat once again, we've kept our
keep right on as always.
Our spirit's right up there, ready for this Sunday. And, you know, for the person who asks, you know, does this game mean anything?
I like Robert Dawes' point there. £5, give the money to the families of the 21.
No, there's either that or, you know, chosen.
You split.
We'll have to come up with with a plan. And,
I mean, that's a great idea, but our charity is the Children's Hospital. That's what we've always supported. So,
are you doing
great idea.
a Halloween special? Gregory wants to know, so we can get the missus out.
Pardon? I'm not sure I understood that.
It sounds good, whichever way he wants to do it. You know. What are your thoughts on Michael Morrison's performance this season? Personally, I think he's been poor all season.
The majority of the team's been pretty poor most of the season, hasn't it?
Darren Walters put that question to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't think he's been great. But, you know, there hasn't really been the stand. I mean, Vassal, he's started the last couple of games, and whenever he's come off the bench, he's looked lively. But by the exception of him and Che, considering he's only just come back from injury, the majority of the sides have been poor most of the year so far. Needs to change, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Well, ladies and gents, let's just hope we can do a Cardiff dance on Sunday. Let's just hope that we can do a Cardiff dance on Sunday. Yeah, this game, it's the one that you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
I couldn't give you tuppence for the game at their place.
What's that, sorry?
When we play them at their place.
Yeah.
I've no interest in walking in that building.
Oh, don't you go? Did you go?
I've been to them in the past.
Yeah.
But I just don't even want to look at it.
No.
Right? Even when I drive down the A38 to go and pick my granddaughter up, if I've got my son in the car, we get to that position, he'll just go like that, eyes left, and look to the left. He will not look to the right. I've got to keep my eyes focused on the road. Right, but I just see his head. The second it potentially comes into view, his head just turns to the left, and he will not turn it back until we've gone past and gone off up towards the tunnels.
So he should be.
Yeah, don't even want to look at the place. There you go, Nick Berry, that's what we think.
You can keep it going for a couple more minutes. I've got a bit of a surprise.
I can keep it going for a couple of more minutes. Birmingham City ladies. Do you know much about the ladies team? I
know the one at the weekend, didn't I? 5-0 was it? But I don't really follow it, to be honest. It's just something I've never really been hooked into, to be fair. But I'd be willing to definitely give it a go for the Tilton Talk Day if that gets arranged or whatnot. Definitely be going for that.
What we'd like to do is obviously take a few bus loads down there and make some noise.
Yeah.
So we played Watford the weekend, had a 2-goal lead at half-time. Lucy Quinn, Rachel Williams, Emma Follis scored a third before a fellow substitute Lyndon rounded off a fine afternoon by finding the back of the net twice in the final 13 minutes at Kings Langley. So well done to Blues ladies, a whopping great big 5-0. Can you come and please do a pre-match talk for the men's team? Sunday. Anybody from the ladies. Anybody from the ladies, mate. Anybody from the ladies.
I think we should just get a bunch of the ex-players like Grainger, Horsfield, just send them in there.
Okay, so we've had it all on the Tilton Talk Show. The Millwall riots, the dancing on boats, the video of the man being hit, the Ding Dong Derby game, Justice for the 21, Ian Dantering next week. Of course, Martin Grainger, a great conversation with him. Our competition winner was...
It was. Did
I love catching him out like this, mate. I love it. I do it every week.
Right, okay, it was is Roy Williams for last week.
Roy
and he
Williams.
wins
We've discussed Super 6 and how poor my performance has been. I perhaps need a team talk too. We've just chatted briefly about the ladies winning 5-0. The Wolves game being moved. We had an interview from Cots Played and the Millwall disturbance. Now, listen, one thing I have got for you. This is my message to you.